Hey, brothers and sisters. I wasn't planning on making this video, but in light of things that have been happening lately, I think Satan's turning up the heat on some of us, and I just want to talk to any fellow believers that may be going through similar hardships to let them know that we must be getting close if he's turning up the heat that's hot on us. So that's a good thing, and actually we should be rejoicing over these type of things that are happening to us. I'm going to go into some examples of things that have been happening to me in my personal life. Um, well, for starters, you guys can see that I have these facial twitches and stuff like that once in a while, and that's all because of lots of different things, lots of injuries I've received in the past. I've been involved in 7 major car accidents. None of them were my fault. Hit on the freeway in park traffic when we're stopped, hit from a diesel truck 3 times in a row while I'm stopped in traffic. Things that just don't make sense. Obviously, after a while, you start to realize I'm a target, you know. I've caught stalkers red-handed. Every time I open the garage door, within 2 minutes, a guy on a bicycle with a red shirt comes by every single time. And the house across the street has a massive camera with night vision on it directly pointed at my garage. So I don't think that's a coincidence. But so the other day, I'm kind of stubborn. I wanted to prove it to my family. So I got up at 2:30 in the morning and I did it, and I recorded it. And sure enough, here comes the guy on a bicycle at 2:30 in the morning. So I stopped him in the middle of the road, and I confronted him in a Christian way. Or I'm sorry, in a Yahweh-like way, or Yeshua-like way. I know these words are contentious sometimes. Our English language sucks. But anyways, besides that point, I tried to be nice to him, but educate him. I asked him if he belonged to an organization called Citizens on Patrol, or if he was getting paid to do this, and he of course he denies it, and so I told him about the whole program and how they get paid with gift cards, and what they're actually accomplishing, and that they're targeting people who love our Father and His Son Yeshua, and that it's all part of a program. And he denied it, and then of course the next 3 days he didn't do it, but then he started up again. So obviously they know what they're doing. And then in addition to that happening, I've had things done to our cars. Both of our cars have had the brake caliper bolt completely removed on the left side in the front, which is extremely dangerous. I was a car mechanic by trade, so I know the how dangerous that could be, because literally you could be driving one day and your left front brake will just completely lock up. Your whole wheel will lock up, and you could head directly into oncoming traffic. Those bolts don't loosen by themselves. That's impossible. But 3 different times I've found them completely loose, almost falling out on 2 different vehicles. So it's stuff like this. We're under really heavy attack, and you get mad because that's our fleshly response to it. But at the same time, you have to know that our Father is protecting us and our King is protecting us. And then recently, I've been fighting a disability case for, about 12 years now. Here's some of my medical records. Those are just some of my medical records. I have enough documented to where any attorney will take my case on, because they all think it's going to be a slam dunk case. But like I was telling my friend the other day, they don't realize they're fighting up against Satan. So because I get denied every single time I have more than 7 things that qualify me for disability going on, proven. I caught my last judge on my 3rd appeal leaving my leaving one of my doctor's records completely out, the main doctor, lying about records, and my attorney caught her red-handed with 12 different violations. She later quit her job after this case, but still I got denied. I have seizures. I have spinal impingement on my neck and in my back. I have 7 different vertebrae that are either desiccated or cracked or impinging on my spine. I have a bone spur that's impinging on my neck spine, on my spinal cervical spine. I have chronic sciatica. I have fibromyalgia, and I have epilepsy. And those aren't even everything, but that's some of the things that are going on with me right now. On top of that, from all the concussions and accidents, I have very, very terrible short-term memory, and even some long-term memory. But I'm not saying this like to have anybody feel sorry, but just how ridiculous it is that they're denying my disability case. So on this last appeal, my disability case went all the way up to Supreme Court, the Ninth District, San Francisco Court, which that only happens to like 0.5% of disability cases. My attorneys had the case well in advance, over a year in advance of the due date. And on the final day, they still hadn't turned in the paperwork. One of the attorneys called me and said that I owed $500, and since I didn't pay it, that it was gonna be canceled. It wouldn't be accepted in the courts. And they didn't even talk to me in person. They left that message on the final day. So I called back immediately that day. I talked to every single person in that office and told them that mine was a contingency case. I didn't owe any money, and they need to file that paperwork because that wasn't part of our contractual agreement. And if it was, I'll pay the money until we get this part settled out. And they got back with me and said, "Oh no, I don't know how that happened. Yeah, you don't owe any money. Yeah, it was sent off. Everything's fine." So then yesterday I get a phone call saying, "Yeah, we wanted to let you know something happened, and we filed the paperwork a day late, so the courts won't accept your case now. It's not feasible anymore." And so they said, and this is our fault, so so you do have a right to take us to court, which of course I will be doing. But by this time they owe well over $100,000 in my disability case. And meanwhile my wife's had to work 3 jobs, doing foster care. She has a daycare. She takes care of our 4 children, and she also does other work in our house. So my wife's paying the price as well as I am, with the financial burdens, and we have been for 12 years, and it hasn't been easy. But this is all Satan's attacks, and this is normal. It's very difficult for people to believe how Satan gets involved on every level. The court systems, the police, the crime, community crime watch, your neighbors, people in stores. He's got his minions everywhere, and people who aren't really entrenched in the word don't really realize this, because those are the people who are completely entrenched in the Bible and absorbed with the word. They're the ones that he's attacking like this. So the other people don't see it. They don't understand. But I just wanted to share a couple scriptures with you guys so that anybody else who has gone through these things can see that this is normal. Proverbs chapter 21 verse 7 is the first one I'm going to look up. And it's going to get worse, guys. I mean, We are in the last of the last days. Prophecies are literally being fulfilled every day, and there's not many left. So, but this is good. This is actually, it just upset my wife quite a bit, because she doesn't quite understand how Satan is doing all this. She does know he's involved, but she doesn't quite see it the same way as I do. But this is actually comforting to me, because I know that, first of all, I must be doing something right. Yahweh must be happy with me, and Yeshua, his son, must be happy with me, because obviously Satan is not happy with me. So Proverbs 21:7, it reads, "The violence of the wicked will sweep them away, for they refuse to act with justice." Okay. Proverbs goes into a lot of this. Let's go into Proverbs 28:4 and 5. Okay. "Those who abandon the law praise the wicked one, but those who observe the law are indignant with them. Evil men cannot understand justice, but those who seek Yahweh can understand everything." Okay, and then one more that's kind of will hit it home a little bit. Proverbs 29:2, and this is just going to be a short video. I just kind of wanted to get it out there. Proverbs 29:2. "When the righteous are many, the people rejoice, but when the wicked one rules, the people groan." So isn't that pretty much what's happening right now? The wicked people are ruling right now, and they're in all the high places of government. This is Satan's world right now. Satan is in control of everything. He has, you got to understand, anybody that understands that Satan and all the other fallen angels, well, they were angels. They were in heaven, right? So they have an IQ that's probably at least 10 times what our IQ is. Now, they don't use it for good, but they still have that knowledge. So he is the father of the lie, right? That's what the scriptures say. He is the great deceiver. Obviously, he's going to do things in a way that aren't visible and obvious to people. He's going to rule things in a way that seem one way, seem just in people's eyes, but have a whole other side to it that we don't see. For instance, the cartoons my kids watch in the movies and stuff like that, to the normal person, you watch those and you don't think anything of it. It seems innocent. But when you start understanding and studying the symbology and the programming that the government has looked into and used the television for, and cell phones, and you start seeing all these symbols repeating themselves that have nothing to do with the cartoon or the movie that they're watching. I've slowed down and seen pentagrams. I've seen the number 666 hidden in all kinds of things. The word sex, obviously, Disney is very well known for this type of thing. And we think these are innocent things that aren't going to affect our children. Well, they're not stupid. They're putting them in there for a reason. It does go into our subconscious. And our brains do receive these messages, whether or not we're aware of it or not. And our children's brains receive these messages. But that's just an idea, a way to show you how deceiving and how sneaky the devil is. He's going to do things that you can't recognize, the normal person wouldn't be able to recognize, unless you actually studied his ways and studied the Bible constantly. And it's impossible to escape it all, but we can escape a lot of it. But anyways, I'm going off track. But what I was trying to say is, so when people see the court system, they believe it's a fair system. It's got all these contingencies set up, all the laws set up in a way that looks fair. But it's not. It has loopholes, and it has ways that the devil can get things accomplished that look fair to everybody else, that darn well is not fair in any way or just in any way. I mean, I'm proof of that. I have to lay down flat on my back every 15 minutes because my spine hurts so bad. I start twitching, I get seizures. I can't remember more than one day ago, not even this morning, stuff that happened, and yet I'm supposed to be qualified to work. I'm not a lazy person by any means. It drives me insane that I'm trapped in my house a lot, but my body has limited me to these things. And any person that knows me or has seen me can see that there's no way in hell that I'd be able to work a job. There's no way. But yet, 4 different court levels have failed me and instantly let go of my case or denied me, and yet my attorneys just happened to mess up on the last one, and yet and these these things they're obvious to me because I'm experiencing it. They're not obvious to everybody else. Just like the car accidents. Okay, I'm stopped in traffic. This was years ago, and a diesel truck comes up behind me. Literally everybody stopped in traffic. The whole freeway stopped in traffic, and he rams into me, and then he rams into me again and again, 3 times. And that's obvious to me that was on purpose, right? Well, then he says, "Oh, well, I didn't see him there, and it's because your car is so low and my diesel truck's so high, and blah 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 blah." Okay, right. The other car accidents were, matter of fact, just a year ago or 2 years ago. Same thing happened on the freeway next to my house. I'm stopped in traffic, and a car plows into us going 65 miles an hour. Everybody on the freeway stopped. These after 1 accident, 2 accident, but 7. I mean, 7 car accidents. I mean, after a while, it gets pretty obvious. But to everybody else, oh well, you're just unlucky. Oh well, these things happen. You just we're in the wrong place at the wrong time, But we as God's people, as Yahweh's people, under our King, Yeshua, we know better. And when you read the scriptures, you know that we're targeted. So all of you targeted people, don't give up. They're not going to kill us. They're just going to make our life miserable, because they know what's coming to them is it's everlasting misery. And so they're going to get their little revenge, throw their little tantrums on us, and we're going to suffer in this life. We're going to suffer in this life because they're jealous. They know that we are favored people. We are children of the Most High. And that really pisses them off, because they had that and they threw it away. So it's kind of like when you receive a new child in the house and the older kids are jealous. Well, this is like that times a million. Because not only did our Father receive new children, us as children, but then the older ones are kicked out of the house. So they're really pissed off. So anyways, keep your faith up. Be really heavy in prayer. Keep sharing the word, because judgment time is almost here. It's almost up. The window is growing very small right now for people to make it into the ark. The door is closing. So let's help as many people as we can. Don't worry, we're not going to die. Keep going strong. Piss Satan off as much as you can every day. Take it all the way to the brink until you fall over, and then get up and do it again. So I love you all. Keep heavy in prayer, and may our King Yeshua be with you and bless you. Bye-bye, guys.